everyone, it's Carol at Aakash Journals. As always, big warm welcome from me. Thanks so much for joining me. I've just realised you're skew-if, so let me straighten you up. Oh, sorry about that. Are you all right? Okay, sorry about that again. Hope you're all happy and well. I certainly am. I'm going to have a bit of a play today, so I'm in my happy space, and I have ideas in mind for prompt number 24 and prompt number 25. Now, I'm doing these two together because these are the two pages in my little junk journal, July journal, that are designated for prompt number 24 and prompt number 25. Because they're very similar, or I intend to create something very similar, I'm going to do these together. I'm also thinking that they're going to be fairly quick to do, so they don't necessitate two videos. The things I've got off to one side here are, oh, it's going to break my heart using these. These are some of my vintage receipts and documents. Now, I'm not going to use all of these because these these are pretty precious, but I am going to use a good few of them. So let me just give you a lovely flip through of them. Look at these. This one's very, very delicate, or printed on very, very thin paper. It's beautiful. I've got this French one here. This one dates back to 1859. This one dates back to 1867. I've got this one here, Vacation Resolution 1896, and this one dates back to 1929. This one is a very personal one. It's not so old. It dates back to 1968, but this is a receipt from a family member, and this is genuine tape on here, right? This is not, oh, I'm peeling it off. This is not faux age tape. This is genuine age tape, and it's lovely. And then I've got this, which is dating back to 1850. This one, 1913. This one, 1855, and this one is 1931. So, as I say, these are all absolutely gorgeous. I have got copies of all of these, but I will be using the originals in my little journal today. But as I said, I won't be using all of them, but I will be using a good few. And I've also got this, which is a little vintage card or telegram, and obviously it's a French one about marriage, so it's a marriage notification card. But I just thought that is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. And that's a little cutaway, as you can see. So I've got that to use, and I've got this fabulous photograph here that I'm going to be using. So as always, I'm going to put the camera on hyperlapse. I'll pop back at the end for a hi and bye chat with you, and obviously some photographs so you can have a look in more detail at what I've created. So I'll see you in a little while. So here I am, just opening up that packet with one of the receipts in. I decided not to use it, it's got some tears in it, but I'm just looking through the ones that I've lifted out to decide which ones I want to go in my little sample thing. And you saw me there just do a quick repair on that genuine aged tape, didn't want to lose that. So I've chosen my vintage receipts, and I'm just layering them up and making sure that they fold nicely, because obviously they can't go across onto the opposite page, or I don't want them to go across onto the opposite page. Here I'm taking another of the receipts, and I'm just using the left hand edge there that you can see. It's got a decorative edge to it where it's obviously been ripped out of a much bigger book of those receipts, and I want to use that as my closure, if you will, for securing all the pieces. Here I've got a little bit of packaging, and I'm sort of having a look to see whether I like the look of that on my page or not. But in the end I go with another vintage piece, which is a piece of plain ledger paper, but it's got a lovely colour to it. And as you can see, I'm just gluing my decorative edge onto that, leaving a tiny smidgen showing, and then just trimming away the rest with my guillotine. just auditioning it in place, deciding which way round I like it. It's a little bit long, so I'm just trimming it down, and then realise I need to do a trim of a smidgen off one side, off one of the long sides. And this needs no explanation really. I'm just gluing the edges of my receipts so that they all line up on that left hand side like that. There we go. And then a dab of glue on my decorative piece to go over the top. Almost put it on the wrong way round. Just adjusting it there. And then just trimming away a little bit of the excess. Just checking that the page will fold, and it does. So here I've got some silk and I'm auditioning that, but I decided to go with the little smidgen of trimmed white lace. You can see it there on the desk on the left hand side. Punching some tiny holes. Now here I've got a wider piece of the same lace edging and I'm trying to cut it down, but I decided in the end that I can work with the piece that I've got. So just using my tweezers to poke it through the hole. I've done 3 holes here, so it's akin to a 3-hole pamphlet stitch really. Just thought that would be nice. And here I am tying a little bow. I'm adjusting it because there is a piece on that lace that is quite narrow and I just wanted to get it inside the bow. So I'm adding a touch of glue to hold it in place there when I actually managed to get it into that position. And you'll see me go in and add more glue. Yep, there we go. Just to make sure that it's secure. I mean, it's not going to take any pressure or any movement because it's going to be glued to my page in the journal, but I just wanted to have it secure so that it would stay put, and actually to have it hidden more than anything. So there we go. I'm just trying to burnish that in place. And that effectively is that side. I've gone in here with some quilter's clips to hold that secure whilst it dries. And now I'm going to work on the next prompt. So I've got my photograph here, which is a photograph that has been printed onto a postcard as they used to do in the old days. And I'm just trimming all the way around because I decide it will sit better inside that little card without any edges sticking out. I've got another vintage receipt here and it's a little bit too wide for the page, so I do go in and trim it down. And originally I just planned to fold the bottom up on this and leave it fairly simple like that, but I did notice that as I folded it up at the bottom there, it was looking like it would crack. So you can see I didn't quite get the fold absolutely right, and I didn't want to adjust the fold on the bottom, so you'll see me trim a little bit off the top here. I am trimming a little bit off either side so that it sits nicely on the page and doesn't interfere with the fold. So there we go. I'm going to trim a smidgen off the top there. It's a shame to cover up that stamp that's there. Again, that wasn't my intention, but I just thought that if that little fold at the bottom was going to be opened and closed with any regularity, then that piece would crack. So I decided when I realised I couldn't peel off that stamp for another project that I would have to sacrifice it and lose it. And in the process of making that a proper pocket, here I'm pondering it all, in the process of making that a proper pocket, you'll see that I go in and I actually line that pocket to reinforce it. So here's my little scrap box, and I'm just pulling out a nice piece of paper to to line my pocket with. Just trying to gauge how high I need to add my glue stick and whether I just back the flap or try and reinforce the whole of the pocket. So I go for reinforcing the whole of the pocket. Just trying to gauge whether I've put enough glue on there, which I haven't. You'll see I go back in and add a little bit more glue. And it was such a shame, but it needed to be done. Obviously that piece of paper was bigger than I wanted, and I was going to glue it inside to add extra reinforcement to the top or entrance to that pocket, but you'll see I end up folding it over onto the outside of the pocket to try and create a decorative feature. So the top of the pocket is reinforced. Throwing my glue all over the place. There we go. It's fatal using those clothing flyer booklets or brochures that come through the post, because when I'm gluing I quite often see something and think, ooh, I wouldn't mind that. Some I've bought and some I've managed to walk away. Got a loose piece of paper there, so I'm just gluing that down. There we go. So that's my pocket created, and here I've got a smidgen of that paper left over, and I'm just wondering whether I could put it on the bottom, but it's not quite wide enough. So I have a little play and then decide, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to add a little piece of lace across that pocket front for some interest, and to hide that edge of the piece of paper that I've folded over from the inside. Now this was a gorgeous piece of lace, absolutely love it. It is vintage lace. I only have that little smidgen left, but it has a nice edging on either side to it, and I've used it before in many a project, and I decide that I'm going to do something really original and use it again. So here I am, just trimming away any little residues of the lace. Going in with my Beacon 3-in-1 glue, which is a fabric glue. Art glitter glue would work just as well, but I don't know why, I just grabbed my 3-in-1 glue. So it's now in place and I'm just trimming away the excess. And here I'm showing that I've stitched all the way round that piece of paper to reinforce it. And I'm just flattening down my stitches on both sides. All the way around, I should say. Here I'm putting a little bit of art glitter glue across the top because I want this to flip up, because the background to both of these pages was vintage ledger paper, so that hit the prompt for very vintage as well. But I just thought this would be, it would add a little bit more interest. And there's my little card going into the pocket. Running repair because there wasn't enough glue on that piece of paper I put in there. So I'm looking at the photograph here and deciding I need to add maybe a little bit of interest on there to kind of blend it into the page a little bit. So I've added some stitching, 2 lines of machine stitching all the way around in cream thread. And here I'm going in with my all-time favourites, Moo Craft Series print on stickers they're called, but I call them washi stickers because they're so delicate. And the set I'm using here is, I think it's number 120, which had some gorgeous, almost like wedding bouquet roses in amongst the washis, and I thought they would blend with the actual card that I use, the wedding telegram card thingammy-bobby thing that I've stuck in the pocket. So I have a field day going all the way around, putting tiny little bits of washi here, there and everywhere where I think it will look nice. The problem I have with these washi stickers is to walk away. I find it really difficult. I love using them. They look so pretty and delicate. They might not be everybody's cup of tea, but they certainly are mine. I love them. So I do have trouble walking away when I get playing with those. and I just dot a few inside that first receipt. Welcome back everybody. So these are my finished pages for these two prompts, very vintage and photograph, and I've tried to marry them in together by using the vintage receipts all the way through. And I've done a little sort of sample book with the receipts on the left hand side, and if I open it up, I've got this one here. I did put washi stickers throughout, so I've got a little one here, and then this is what this one looks like. So a little bit of decoration at the top and bottom there, but really these are so gorgeous they don't need much decoration. Obviously the first thing you see when you open this one out is a blank piece, which is the back of one of the receipts, so I did a bit of decoration to that one, but I haven't decorated the face of this one at all. I didn't want to do overkill. I find it really hard once I get playing with these washi stickers to walk away. I love playing with them, so I'm quite proud of myself that I didn't manage to put anything on this 1896 receipt. And then a little detail up there on that one, another little detail up there on that one, and another detail on there and there. This is the very delicate one. It's almost like tissue paper. It's fantastic. And then a little detail down in this corner on this one because that had a bare space, so to me it just begged for something to go down there. I used the edge of one of the other receipts. It was a slightly damaged receipt, but I will use the rest of it without a doubt, but I used the decorative element here to create my closure, if you will, and I put a little trimming of lace in here. Now I was going to use some silk, which was the perfect colour, nicely frayed, but it was too big, I felt. Even though it blended, it would have hidden this detail, and what I wanted to keep was as much as this detail showing as I could. So a really simple idea, and I had a lovely time creating this. And if I move across to this page, if I lift this out, I used another one of the vintage receipts, and it's just a flip with a pocket at the bottom. I did some machine stitching all the way around as well, but you can see most of the document. Unfortunately, you can't see much of the age here because I did put a little sticker up there, but you could probably just work it out through the washi sticker, but certainly you can make out that this one dates back to 1929. And then because I didn't want to do very much and spoil this or the photograph really, I just created that pocket so I could just tuck these in there, and it was the roses on here that dictated the washi sticker set that I used, and I will put the information in the description box below. So I just trimmed this one to size a little bit, stitched around the outside. I haven't collaged on the back. I just thought I'd leave this photograph as it is, and then this obviously is completely untouched. I did toy with the idea of maybe gluing the photograph onto that flap there, but I thought it might spoil it, so I've just left it absolutely plain and lovely in its entirety. So I'm just going to pop that in the pocket, and my idea was to try and get a little bit of this writing showing, so that's why I've popped it over to the left hand side there. So I'm just going to raise it up a little bit so that it kind of blends down my page. So I hope you like these two pages and what I've created for the prompts this time round, everybody. Thank you as always for watching. I know I say it each and every time I do a video, but I really do appreciate it. I love having your company and your support, and please, if you'd like to subscribe, please do. If you'd like to leave me a comment, please do. Love to read your comments. Anyway, I won't keep you. Have a lovely day, take care, and photographs to follow. Bye bye now.